I'm Nigel Barden, a food and drink journalist and broadcaster who likes to cook. I'm not in charge of a restaurant kitchen or run a gastropub, but I do discover dishes that are easy to prepare. And for me, it's all about the ingredients, as I love to champion artisan food and drink producers and tell their stories. So welcome to my Drivetime Dishes. Well, it's a glorious day in the Lake District. You'll have to take my word for that, but it definitely is. And this is a glorious person alongside me. 25 years as chef. I know for one so young, born in Somerset, grew up in Yorkshire, spent pretty much a year in Tuscany in Italy, a lifetime experience, and still looking pretty good on it. Peter Sidwell.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. It's a great array of ingredients. I know that's for you. It's all about the ingredients, the flavour, the cookery school that you're involved with as well. That's the key. That's where you start.
Ingredients and tasting is where it all starts for me. Whenever I teach someone how to cook, we start with ingredients, which is why I'm really pleased to see all this here.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story. Here we go. A well-known face.
Yes.
Tom Kerridge.
A slightly smaller face than it used to be.
6'3", grew up in Gloucestershire. A very interesting man. Loves sport, loves rugby. As you might imagine, big Gloucester fan. Decided when he was getting towards 40, as he says, I needed to lose a bit of timber. He was 30 stone pretty much, so he'd lost 12 stone. But remarkable man, and it's really interesting when he started to get his life together in that sense. How his career really took off. I mean, they're already Michelin star with the Hand and Flowers in Marlow. They've got the Coach there. They've also got the Butcher's Tap, which is a butcher's shop in the day, and then a bar.
Yeah, I've seen that. It looks really good.
Yeah, fascinating, man. I've been going around the UK with Pub in the Park, 12 gastropubs, lots of artisan food producers, and then great music, and that's been in the likes
great combination.
Nutsland, Tunbridge, and Marlow, and Bath. Music, food, drink. It's a winning combination.
Yeah, absolutely is. I see him every year at Carfest because we both support Carfest on stage, and every year he's a little bit smaller and he's looking so well. I'm really pleased for him.
Well, this book is very interesting, the dopamine diet, because dopamine is the happy chemical that's released when you're listening to great music, when you're eating marvellous food, when you're having something interesting to drink, alcoholic or non. And that's what he wanted to do. So he wanted to produce some food that would really make you smile. So that's what we've done here. And we've got he started with this is turkey, a brilliant piece of turkey fillet, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be pork or chicken or anything.
Yeah.
It's a very
good lean protein,
Yeah. This is from Kelly's Turkeys, Kelly Bronze, which are the original Native American game birds.
Right.
And these are actually from Springate Farm in Danbury in Essex, home of Kelly's Turkeys. This is a Kelly Bronze, and it was Derek and Molly Kelly who set up the business in 1971. It's now run by son Paul, and they've even opened up a farm in Virginia, so that's a bit like selling snow to Eskimos, but really, really tasty. A little tip to start with, it's got a little bit of sinew in there. If it has, when you buy it, which is a little, you can see it's very prominent there. Just cut it out with a knife, because we're going to hit it with a rolling pin and flatten it in amongst some cling film, and then we're going to use that as our basis. But what is not used, the traditional breadcrumb base for this one, gone for coconut flour, and some sesame seeds, and some onion. These are
I love onion powder.
It's fantastic.
I use it all the time. It's got great flavour. It just gives that real kick of savoury. Love it.
And here we've got buttermilk, acidulated butter, and basically 2 hours with your fillets in there would be great. You can do it overnight. It's a great technique from the deep south in America of their cooking. We use it a lot with chicken. It just basically lets all the fibres tenderize.
Yeah.
And then duck eggs. We're going to serve it with some duck eggs. We're going
Love
to
duck eggs.
Chicken eggs for the wash, which we talked about. That's going to make all these lovely ingredients stick to it. And then capers. We're going to cook with a little bit of that and unsalted butter and some anchovies. And as a garnish as well, with artichoke hearts, green chilies, gherkins, and parmesan again, which is a key ingredient, using that as part of his crumb mix.
You wouldn't look at this and think, oh, well, that's a healthy, would you?
No.
It bags of flavour in here. I'm really looking forward to trying this.
Yeah, well, it's a take. You think of veal escalope or something along those lines. What would you instinctively drink with this?
I would probably go for a really crisp white. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Because
we've not discussed this, but it's exactly what I'm going to say.
I wouldn't know what grape or what variety.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about wines, but in my mind, I would go for clean, crisp, and cold.
Yeah.
Which is what I would probably like with this. But I would also go for a really nice beer as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to do a Gruner Veltliner from Austria, so that's a pretty good fit for that. So just tell us a little bit about what you're getting up to. I mean, you're not at the pass in the kitchen like you used to
No, I kind
be.
of retired at 40 from that. I took a leaf from other chefs' book and I thought, you know what, it's a young man's game in the kitchen. I hit 40 and I thought, you know what, I've got a lot going on in here. How can I make all that experience work? And obviously writing recipes, creating video content. And then also as a consultancy, I help big brands and food companies and other restaurateurs kind of learn from the mistakes or keep in touch with innovations.
And live here in this beautiful part of the world in the Lake District. And
Yes.
you've worked when you were a foolish youth with Marco Pierre White at Harvey's.
Yeah, I did a short stint in London just to see if I could.
Yeah.
And it was game changer. It was defining for the career, and I would urge any chef going into, any person going into cooking, choose wisely who you want to work for, because you become a manifestation of the sort of first 4 chefs that you work for. So choose wisely.
There you go. We are choosing wisely. I'm going to be cooking wisely in the moment for this dopamine-inducing turkey fillet. It's going to be done with all these great ingredients. I cannot wait, Peter. It's official. To make Tom Kerridge's turkey schnitzel with lemon and caper butter, you'll need 2 free-range skinless turkey breast fillets, around 200 grams each, 100 millilitres of buttermilk, 40 grams of grated Parmesan cheese, 30 grams of dried onion flakes, 30 grams of coconut flour, 20 grams of sesame seeds, 2 free-range egg yolks, 40 millilitres of milk, some oil, rapeseed oil is perfect, 100 grams of unsalted butter, a lemon, 2 tablespoons of capers, 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, 2 free-range duck eggs, 4 anchovy fillets in oil which have been drained, and some sea salt and freshly ground black pepper. The dish can also be served with optional gherkins, green pickled chilies, and marinated artichokes. You don't just have to eat turkey at Christmas, it's a joy to eat all year round lovely white meat. First, put the turkey fillets into cling film or a plastic bag and flatten them by hitting them with a rolling pin. Put the turkey into a bowl with the buttermilk and leave to tenderize for at least 2 hours. That's the joy of buttermilk. It acidulates, it softens, it breaks it up. You can even do it overnight if you so wish. To coat the fillets, first dip them in a mixture of the milk and egg yolks, then coated a mix of Parmesan, onion flakes, coconut flour and sesame seeds. Fry the coated fillets in some oil, vegetable oil ideally, and 40 grams of melted butter until golden brown and crisp. Chop the parsley and melt the rest of the butter. Add a squeeze of lemon juice, the capers and lemon zest along with the parsley and put into the melted butter. In a separate pan, season and fry the duck egg. Serve the fillets topped with the duck egg and some of the sauce. If you want, you can also serve with gherkins, pickled chilies and marinated artichokes. For all of the recipes in this series, just head to simplygoodfood.tv. Wow, Peter, these just look brilliant. I mean, it's fantastic, and with the pickles to go with it as well. It's a gorgeous dish.
This is my kind of dish. I am looking forward to tucking into this. It is... What it's got for me is balance. You've got a beautiful, rich duck egg on there, and oh my God, I love a duck egg. But you need something to cut it, because it is so rich and delicious. I mean, up the road, I have farmers where they sell the duck eggs on the end of the lanes, and you kind of know when they're coming, and I get so excited. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you need something to cut it, maybe a knife.
Well, yes, that might be a good start.
Would start very well, but yeah, and it just smells gorgeous as well. And the coconut flour to come in there with the Parmesan, it's a really unusual. It's rather than your traditional breadcrumb. So let's dig in.
Okay.
And I'll uncork something, or I won't actually uncork it because it's not a cork that we need.
Right.
But
I am going to go in for the egg yolk. Sorry, going in. It is. Look at that.
You're my guest.
Oh,
so be my guest.
That is what it's all about.
And I've gone to Austria, but you talked about a nice white acidic wine. And Baumgarten, the family there, 11 generations. And this is 1725 they're established, but they go back records of them farming 1648. So there's a real lineage of this. It's Wolfgang and his son Wieland. Cheers.
Cheers.
and lovely. It's got minerally, but there's a bit of fruit. It's perfect again. All these amazing different flavours.
Haven't really heard of Austrian wines before. Well, I mean, obviously you get lots of German wines.
Yeah, we used to think of one. It was all the big wine scandal. You'd be far too young to remember this, but diethylene glycol, which ended up in some of the dessert wines.
Right.
So they were being doctored and sold for more money. Well, these are the dry wines, and actually Austria does produce some fantastic wine. This is from Tanner's, long-established wine merchants. There's lots of lineage to the accompaniments to this dish. They've been on the go in Shrewsbury since 1842. They've got 5 outlets. Brilliant wine merchants of old. Doesn't just taste of profit, this wine.
I'm going in again while you chat.
Don't mind me. And this will probably cost between £8.50 and £9 a bottle. And I think it's Grunewald Lina is widely available. Now, the soft drink, absolutely fascinating. The Chevalier Guild family, now in the 5th generation, that's Henry and Barry. They're based in Suffolk, and Aspel's have been producing ciders and apple juices and cider vinegars for a long time, but they've branched out. This is a shrub, which these were traditional. It was drunk by British sailors to put scurvy at bay. The temperance movement loved it because this is a drinking vinegar. Yeah, it's an apple cider vinegar, and this is flavoured with black currants and juniper, and it's nonsuch, which was a term during medieval Britain as a term of something of beauty and of brilliance. A nonsuch castle was built by Henry VIII, and he spent, I think, it was something like £30,000 or £40,000, which at the time was just a huge amount of money. No one would ever spend that type of money. It was finished in 1538, and that was south of London, a remarkable castle, and then it was knocked down 150 years later, and all the gorgeous stone was just turned into building material. But really unusual. They do it in other flavours. Got peach and basil, with sour cherry and mint. You like that?
I do, absolutely delicious. I was just about to say, I love that.
No added sugar.
Really nice.
Just really, and again, because of this,
it's got that vinegary note to it as well,
which I thought would cut through the richness of this dish, and it does. So these are non-such shrubs. Look out for those. But again, there's this big growth area of adult soft drinks which are not laced with sugar. That's really important. And funny enough, Henry's wife, Chevalier Guild, Lizzie, just suggested that sometimes he should not drink for a while. So she was the one who gave me inspiration to come up with this. And drinking vinegars are very much of the moment. People realise that actually, on a regular basis, can do you a lot part of your diet.
I think vinegar's become a massive ingredient in kitchens because it adds sharpness and balance, and obviously it's evolved now into drinks and things like that because lots of people are drinking vinegar now.
Wow. I mean,
love it.
So much more to see and do. Do join us again on Simply Good Food TV. Great recipes, great books, great chefs, marvellous ingredients, and fabulous drinks to go with it. Not a bad life, kid.
It's all right. Yeah, not bad.